Mr. Fitness, baby! Boom!
Mr. Fitness 2.0, yeah! United States Navy. Tip of the day, Friday Q&A. Boom! Poet didn't even know it. What's going on, YouTube? Had to represent in this video Texans, baby. First pick of the draft, Jadeveon Clowney. Him and J.J. Watt just gonna beast it up, baby. Boom! Excited for the Texans defense once again. Oh yeah, it'll be good times. But no, today I'm gonna start something. Hopefully, be able to stick with it. Friday Q&A. We'll stick with it for the time being until the ship probably sends me out in the middle of nowhere again. But okay, yeah. So here we go. Get right to the point. Friday Q&A. We're gonna do one training question, one nutrition question, and one fun fact. And we're gonna stick to that formula. And let me know if you guys like it. Comment, share, subscribe. We'll see how it goes. So here we go. Training question. This comes from Craig in Texas. I had a buddy named Craig. I wonder if it's the same guy. Huh. Anyway, he says, what is the best way to develop a biceps peak? Well, Craigster, I want to say having a biceps peak is largely genetic, and what I mean by that is it's largely going to have to do with the origin and insertion of the bicep tendon itself. Obviously, if you have a very low inserted bicep tendon, not trying to show off the guns or anything, but I'm just saying, if you have a very low bicep tendon insertion, then you're going to have more actual room for tissue growth there. If you are short, got the short end of the stick in the genetics department and you have a very high bicep insertion tendon or higher, obviously there's not enough room or as much room for the cross-sectional area of that muscle to actually grow. But what you can do, genetics aside, is you focus on the bang for your buck exercises. These are going to exercises that will provide you maximum overload, maximum stimulation of the biceps muscle. Namely, if I just had to pick two forever, standing barbell curl and alternating dumbbell curl. Those two were my literally meat and potatoes of bicep exercises to literally build that foundation for years when I was 19, 20, 21. That was pretty much like the only two bicep exercises I ever did. And then after you kind of build that foundation, then you can kind of get all fancy with the preacher curls and isolation shit. Oh, earmuffs, kids. Isolation stuff, and that's it. Focus on meat and potatoes exercises, and that'll maximize your whatever genetic potential you have for a biceps peak, bar none. Awesome. Moving right along. Nutrition question. Bang. What are your thoughts on the glycemic index? Writes Clint from Colorado. Hey, Clincher. What's going on? Damn, I had two buddies named Craig and Clint. This is a coincidence, huh? What are your thoughts on the glycemic index? The glycemic index, those of you that may not know what I'm talking about, or what this question is asking, has to do with the impact that any given food, particularly a carbohydrate, will have on blood sugar levels. Let's say like a high GI, a high glycemic index food would be like white rice, whereas a low GI food would be like strawberries, blueberries. Those seem to be very low glycemic, as in they don't affect the spiking of the blood sugar near as much when consumed. Now, research on the glycemic index, the studies that have been done on it, they were done on, I believe, years ago. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe they were done years ago on overweight or obese women that were in a fasted state, and they fed them like white potatoes. Well, obviously, if you're in a fasted state and you haven't had anything to eat for a significant period of time, and you just have nothing but white potatoes, well, yeah, it's going to have a pretty large impact on your blood sugar level. Just to get to the point, my thoughts on the glycemic index, I think it's irrelevant. because whenever you combine foods, whenever you combine a protein source with a carbohydrate or a fat source with a carbohydrate, it lowers the glycemic index significantly. Most of the time, if you're eating a balanced meal, it's not just going to have carbohydrate. It's going to have some protein. It's going to have some fats. So particularly by combining carbohydrates, regardless whether it's high GI or low GI, with a protein source and or a fat source, that's going to lower the impact it'll have on your blood sugar level significantly. So my thoughts on the glycemic index, it's not that I think it's total BS, but I think it's irrelevant, especially for people in the bodybuilding and fitness world that don't just eat a carbohydrate meal usually by itself. Usually you have some protein and some fats with it. So that's it. Fun fact number 2376. This goes from credit to WTFfunfact.com. I just pulled this out of my butt. I thought it was kind of cool. So here it goes. A man diagnosed with cancer was told he had 6 months to live. He went back to doctors 10 years later to tell them that he's still alive, only to find out that the doctors who diagnosed him were all dead. He died at 102 years old. Ironic, isn't it? Yeah, doctors, don't ever believe your doctors, kids. I'm not saying there aren't some good doctors out there. There are some good doctors out there. But I think a lot of them don't know near as much as they think they do, or they've been out of medical school so long that it's irrelevant. FYI. That's it, kids. Mr. Fitness 2.0, United States Navy, Friday, Q&A. Go out, have a fun weekend. 6-minute abs, eat good, work out. It's all good, baby. Like, comment, share, subscribe. 6-minute abs, United States Navy, Mr. Fitness 2.0. Boom.